Hello, it's Adam.
Hi.
And it's Talia. And we're here for an instant movie review. And tonight we saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is the...
Volume 3.
Volume 3, thank you. This is the last film to be directed by James Gunn for Marvel, and his last Guardians of the Galaxy film, of course, which started back in 20-something. I can't remember. Let's say 12?
Why would I say 12 or 13?
Let's say 12, yeah. So in 2014, James Gunn had an idea for the third Guardians movie. It took a while for it to get to this point, and in 2018, there was some controversial... He was fired from the films after some controversial tweets were made. And I think the whole crew, the whole cast campaigned to bring him back to actually do the film, otherwise they wouldn't do it. Hence he came back, and here we are. So what's this film about, Talia?
It is about, again, the Guardians as they embark on a new journey. Rocket is having some very vivid post-traumatic stress in terms of his past and where he came from, his maker, who ends up being the main villain of this movie.
Grand Evolutionary?
The Grand Evolutionary, yes. I think so. High Evolutionary?
High Evolutionary.
And basically his whole past begins to affect the whole crew as they try and basically help him to get out of what is... You can't give much away. The whole
film is basically
it's basically about Rocket's trauma.
Friends helping friends.
Friends helping friends through their trauma.
That's exactly right.
That's basically what the film is.
Well, even Peter Quill's got some trauma, right? From living Gamora. He's still got issues
really
with that.
Gamora.
Still got some big issues regarding that.
Got issues
He's
with
hit the bottle for about 5 seconds, and then comes out of it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
after
he comes out pretty good.
Happens.
So a weird little trauma moment, then we're fine.
Yeah. So we're pretty much action straight away. We're introduced to Will Porter's character, Adam. Yeah. Pretty early on, and then his arc is sort of interesting. He's sort of a little bit in the movie here and there, but this really is a film about the Guardians, and it very much is a love letter, I think, by James Gunn to the film that he created for Marvel, and it's a lovely send-off. So this film is I think exactly that. I think it's got some... It's a really lovely send-off. I think we were all expecting a lot... Well, I was certainly expecting a lot more trauma in this film and a lot more pathos, I suppose. And there is... I don't know if you feel like this, Tally, but I feel like there was a lot of things set up and not a lot of stuff really overly paid off. And he instead went more towards the sentimental feel-good than maybe towards something that was a bit heavier, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that might be a result of number two, of that emotional, parent connection. I'm not really sure, but I mean, James Gunn does say a fair bit about animal cruelty in this film. I think that's pretty heavily dealt out.
That's some of the most traumatic, like very much like scenes in the movie is all in those kind of, which people have seen in the trailers. They've seen all the stuff that happens to all of his friends and all of Rocket,
Exactly.
But that's probably one of the hardest things about that film, is having to watch the scenes with them in it, probably.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
So, so overall, what did you like the most about Guardians 3, Tally?
I feel like it was very much not a feel-good... I don't want to say feel-good adventure, because there were bits that were a bit... Ooh, but it was very much... You saw the team, you saw where they were at that point, and you understood in the ending why the ending was that way. You understood that, all of them had their own little reasonings and everything like that. You could see the team coming together and understanding each other in quite a nice way, which is really lovely, because sometimes, when you have those big... massive, superhero put together, whatever, in Avengers and all that, there always seems to be this thing where they like to conflict. They like to be like, oh, like this person believes this thing and this person believes this thing, whereas in this film all of them united for that common cause pretty much straight away, which is really lovely, especially in terms of it was for a friendship, and I think that's a really nice message, is that no matter what your beliefs are, you should always stick up for your friends and make sure that they're okay. Like, you know, like they were very focused on protecting each other and making sure that each other were, which I really like about it. I also like some of the, like, just overall, like, some of the comedy and stuff, which James Gunn is always quite good at that. He's always quite good at showing that comedy. I love Drax and Mantis. They're two of my favourite characters in this. The way that they interact with each other is so much fun, and I love that for them, and Drax is hilarious. And it definitely covers some interesting messages and stuff, which is quite good. But
there's some very good banter in this. There's some really fun moments.
There were some bits we weren't quite tied up, but we're going to ignore those because it is a very good, fun, feel-good film most of the time.
Yes. There wasn't, I don't think there was huge amounts of arcs for a lot of the side characters, and you know, High Evolutionary was very shouty. He was very shouty, and like he was very drunk and shouty all the time. There's a few odd acting choices, I thought, but you know, overall, I must admit I was expecting something a little different than what I
think everyone went into that cinema expecting it to be like an emotional train wreck.
Yes.
Like we were all expecting to be actually in tears by the end of that film. Yeah. Like, you know.
And I think the big thing for me, and what annoys me, is Marvel's kind of done it again, where there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of...
This character stays dead.
Yeah, 100%. You know, there's not a lot of that. It's okay because this is what's going to happen, and everything's going to be okay. So I don't think you have. Definitely still bring your tissues, because there's some.
There are some bits that make you cry. I cried like 3 times.
There are some big tissue moments, and but you know, I think it's a nice send off for James Gunn, and clearly Marvel is not finished with this series, but it will be very different.
Yes.
So we shall see where things go. But a very nice send off for James Gunn. Well acted by everyone. Everyone does a fantastic job, and
as per usual.
Big ups to Chris Pratt.
The really cast is always so strong. That's one of the things I love about the Guardians movies.
Very true. So, what would you give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
I would probably give it a 7 or an 8, because I really love Guardians. So, it was just because I'm a massive fan of it that I'd probably rate it a tiny bit higher. I'd probably go to an 8 or a 7.5, but that's just me.
I think it's a nice way to start Phase 5. It'd be interesting to see where Phase 5 goes. And it certainly is a better film. I think it's the best Marvel film we've seen in quite a number of years. So just when you think all hope is lost, I think Guardians comes in and swoops and saves them all again. Does. So so I'd probably give this a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and hopefully you do too. Yay! Drax rules.
Drax rules. Whoop whoop.
Bye.
Bye bye.